A very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us on the Thursday edition of the show. Promises to be exciting as always. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Well, it's the day after the big day. Of course, we're here to do a post-mortem of the National Sports Festival. But first, let's give you the news making the rounds from this part of the world. Team Delta, the undisputed champion of the National Sports Festival, winning it for a third consecutive time, and of course, getting to keep it, taking the trophy for keeps. Let's move on. Still talking about the National Sports Festival. After a spectacular performance at the National Sports Festival, Delta State will be the next host of the National Sports Festival, the next edition, that is. It will take place next year, 2022. Of course, Delta will take charge of the next one. Let's move on and go to Europe and talk about football and tell you what happened yesterday. Real Madrid and Manchester City advanced at the expense of Liverpool and Dortmund. So the semi-final lineup is complete, and we'll be here to do justice to that for you as we talk about all of the things that happened. But of course, that's not where we're going to start the show this morning. The National Sports Festival takes center stage. We're here to do our own post-mortem. Yesterday was all about the closing ceremony, but this morning we'll be taking a look at everything that went down from day one. Highlight all the positives. I'm not going to be doing that alone on the show. I have Iniobong Monday with me. He joins me today as we take a look at everything. Iniobong, good to see you. Thanks for joining me on the show.
Good morning, Yemi. Great to be here. Been a while here, and quite excited to be here. Congratulations to Edo State. I mean, you've got to say congratulations to them for hosting it. It didn't come without its own fair share of issues and problems and controversies, and I think we're quite used to that being Nigerians, that is hardly anything happens in this country that goes unscathed, you know, but congratulations to them for hosting it. It didn't look like it was going to happen. Even in the middle of the tournament, it looked like the tournament was going to be truncated. But it's great to see that they finally took it to the finishing line. So big congratulations to them.
All right, so that's it. It sets the tone for what we're going to be doing on the show this morning. At some point, our man, Austin Okon-Akpan, also will pitch in and join in as we continue to talk about the just concluded National Sports Festival. But this morning, let's quickly take a look at a report put together on the closing ceremony, all the activities of the closing ceremony. We've tried to capture it all for you. Let's allow you to enjoy that. By the time we're done with that, Austin will be ready to join us. We'll continue with the discussion on the National Sports Festival.
Happy to be nation, Sport Festival, Edo 2020,
Hosts Edo State put up a spectacular show for the closing ceremony of the 20th National Sports Festival at the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium in Benin City. Performances by top music stars and fireworks took center stage after 13 days of sporting action at the multi-sport event. For the third consecutive time, Team Delta wins the National Sports Festival and was handed the trophy for keeps.
Chief Tony Box, Commissioner for Chairman of Sports Commission. Stand up for Delta!
After successfully hosting the event, Edo State can now pass the baton to the next host.
Everything I do, we just say penetrate. After a rigorous exercise last year, 2020, where 6 states expressed interest to host the next National Sports Festival, the big heart, Delta State, came tops in the bid. The next National Sports Festival will be held in the year 2022 in Delta State. Dear athletes, from all over Nigeria. In Edo, you have shared your faith in a peaceful future. And you have shown how sports can bring people together, even in a fragile world. You have shown how sports can build bridges. As you go back to your home states, I urge all of you not to forget the bond of oneness that you have formed on these grounds.
No doubt many talents have been discovered. However, it is expected that the athletes will be groomed and nurtured to stardom.
All right, I like the last line of that report. Of course, athletes' talents have been discovered. It is expected that they will be groomed and nurtured to stardom. That is the very essence of the National Sports Festival. I'm Austin Okunakwan joins us now. Greetings to you, Austin. Thanks for finding out time to be with us this morning. Let's dive straight into it. 13 days of sporting action, not without its drama, but everything. They say all is well that ends well.
Sports greetings to you, Yemi, in your bong in the studio. It's good to be on the program. Yeah, the 20th edition of the National Sports Festival has come and gone. And now it's for us to go back and look at those things that it brought, ways that we can improve, things we can correct. Of course, you mentioned the drama. To an extent, could have been avoided. But we see these things in our world of sports. But most importantly, shout out to Edo State for staying committed to the cause, doing everything they can to ensure that the National Sports Festival happens. And the athletes are super excited now. We know where we're going in 2022. That host needs to start getting ready now to put up a better show than what we saw in Benin City, Edo State.
All right, guys, I want you to stand by. I'm going to allow you to listen to the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Youth and Sports make an official announcement and talk about one or two things. Then we'll come back to discuss some events that took place yesterday and, of course, our review of everything that went down.
I'm sure there are several athletes that have been discovered at the various events will one day win laurels for this country at the international arena. The performance of the swimmer, Ifiazebe Asaba, who won 8 gold, 2 silver, and 5 bronze medals, to 10-year-old gymnastic, Stephanie Onisiroka, who won a gold medal, a silver medal, and bronze medal, to Chidi Okezie, impressive performance in the 400 meters. We can't forget Adego Enoch and Grace Mokocha's remarkable victory in the 100 meters. The wrestlers also showing another attainment, not only re-echoes nostalgic feeling of the past, but keeps hope alive for a better future for our sports. I congratulate Delta State for emerging the overall winner of the games of the 20th National Sports Festival.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's the Permanent Secretary, Nebolisa Anako, talking about a lot of things that happened there. Mentioned some names that we should go and write down somewhere. It is our hope that later on they will win laurels for Nigeria. You're talking about the 10-year-old gymnast. You're talking about a swimmer that won many gold medals and all of that. In your book, where do we start? What were the high points for you at the National Sports Festival? We've seen one athlete win 6 gold medals, the 10-year-old, the pregnant lady in taekwondo won. That still amazed a lot of people. So many. But I don't know which one was the high point for you.
For me, it has to be the Bielsa athlete that won 6 gold medals from swimming. And swimming is not something that we're really famed for. And it's quite surprisingly, considering that we our country it's mostly a riverine-based country. It's something we should do very well. It's an area that we're not tapping into. It's an area where we're not taking advantage, because when we go to the rural areas, you're looking at 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds who are diving into water with so much skill. They just lack the necessary exposure. They just lack the necessary coaching. And it's great to see someone who has shown real hard work. I was listening to our coach, and she talked about the fact that she's so hardworking. She's always training. She's always practicing. And clearly, that's someone who, going into a tournament, was ready for the tournament. And it's a high point for me. It's a really, really good for me. I hope that she can get the kind of exposure she deserves. She can get the kind of, because you've got to test yourself. We're great at National Sports Festival, but you've got to test yourself on the continent. You've got to test yourself at a bigger stage than the National Sports Festival. And I hope that she gets that exposure. The 10-year-old gymnast, great, absolutely fantastic. And I'm sorry, I worry when I see talents like that, because it's not the first time we're seeing new kids on the block doing something extraordinary, but they never get the necessary funding. Exposure, they never get the necessary pushing. They never get the necessary exposure to be able to build on that success. Because it's great to discover a talent. What do you do afterwards?
Very important. Very, very important. All right. The next thing we're going to talk about will probably bring smiles to the face of Idiabong Monday and probably Austin Okon-Akpan. Let's talk about some of the events that happened yesterday while we were preparing for the grand closing ceremony. Akwa Ibom State won the 4x400 meters women's relay. We're going to see the clips. Akwa Ibom, a lot of talents have been discovered from that region. The young lady who burst into limelight 2 years ago, still doing amazing things. But I'm going to get Austin's thoughts to this one. But I want us to see the athletes cross the finish line. I mean, the coverage, the facilities, a lot of things that will make you happy about this event. If you can put aside the drama, it's difficult to, I understand. But if you can just put aside, you look at all of these facilities. These facilities, most are Olympic standard. And even the sports ministry have said, Team Nigeria will train on these facilities, and it is heartwarming. But let me go to Austin while we're still looking at this clip. Austin, a quick one from you. Did this surprise you, or you were expecting this gold medal? Were you counting this gold medal already?
Yeah, of course, because Akwa Ibom has shown good prospects in the 400 and 800 meters. We're beginning to do. Back in the day, we do so well. Akwa Ibom State in the quarter mile events, take you back to days of Enefi Okudobong, and this is one event that is beginning to pique interest. So that's why at the Akwa Ibom State Sports Festival, they put, attention on those areas where the state has got some strength. And that's what we talk about all the time, Yemi. Consolidate on those areas that that you can be better, So I'm not surprised when Imabong came to the scene. We can't stop talking about her, and running the leg for Akwa Ibom to one of the legs for Akwa Ibom to go win this 100 meters is a testament. I think let's just look at her right there, coasting away. And at the time, Akwa Ibom was doing the exchange in the second and third leg. They were about third or fourth, but goes to tell you that they're beginning to master the technique. So what is it that they are doing that they should keep doing is what the state sports, commission should look forward to. They need to go back to the State Sports Festival that discovered Imabong, because there are more persons in the states that can actually get better than her, So it's all about getting better. So yes, congratulations to them. This is a source of encouragement because, let's say it again. If we didn't have the National Sports Festival, we'll talk about this teenager that is beginning to do so well. And now we've seen it. She's done well. She's doing it again with a team. It tells you the quality is there. So, yeah, no surprises for me. I was looking forward to them, being on the podium for this event. And, they surpassed my expectations by going on to win gold. We must keep the positives from this National Sports Festival.
Yeah, we're all in agreement with that one. All right, let's talk about the guys now in the 4x4. 4x100 it is. Team 4x400, I beg your pardon. Team Delta coasting home with that one. Let's just enjoy this clip. We'll come back to talk about it. At this point, it was close to the closing ceremony, and it didn't change much on the medal table because Delta had already, but it was personal for the athletes on the track because they know a lot was hanging on this event.
On the final day of events like this, clearly you know that there'll be eyeballs. You want to coast out on a high. It's great to see what Delta have done in the past to a National Sports Festival, and in the 4x400. I mean, when you won so many gold medals in a tournament, there's supreme belief and confidence just flying around the entire contingent. The belief is there, the confidence is there, and just to show people that it's just about hard work, it's just about determination, it's how well you put in, and clearly you could see the smooth transition from the exchange of baton. You could see the energy, the perseverance going into the final two runners. Quite exciting, and congratulations to Delta. I mean, they've put in the hard work. People keep saying, how do they do it? It's simple, it's hard work. It's commitment.
And if you look at the clips as well, at some point they were trailing, but
exactly.
they just, I think it was between them and Team Edo at some point, but they were able to get the job done, cross the finish line, and win. Let's listen to...
When it gets to relays like it, people need to understand that it's very technical.
Yes.
It's very technical, and it's not just about running. It's very technical. How well you start and how well you finish, who is anchoring is very important. And
all those little details.
Exactly. So it's great to see them to be able to coast home.
To perfect that art and get the job done.
Exactly.
All right. Let's listen to the anchor of that race, a lot resting on him, and ensure that Team Delta won that race. Let's listen to Timothy and Mo Ogene speak about Team Delta winning this one.
Well, I have 3 gold medals, and it's a wrap. This is the final, and we just won the relay. So I feel happy and I feel thankful to God, because at the last festival, I didn't get even a bronze because I had an injury. But all the same, I lived to fight on that day, and here I am in Edo. I got 3 gold medals, so it's something to be proud of. And all thanks goes to God. Well, it's been a great host here in Edo. The people are actually kind and nice. I actually had a lot of bad stories about this place, but coming here and seeing it for myself, it's really a great place. People are friendly, and it's a great host. So finally, it's all over. So all thanks goes to God. It's been wonderful. Well, the next step for me, everybody hopes to be at the Olympics, but right now we're going home and getting ready for maybe another meet. We don't know when they're going to host any other competition, but I'll pray it's very soon, and the Olympics will be a great experience, definitely. So that's great. Congratulations.
Okay, all right. There's still a lot to talk about, but we need to go on a break right about now. When we return, it's still the post-mortem of the 20th National Sports Festival, which took place in Benin City, Edo State. Let's go for that break. Come back for more Sports This Morning. All right, interesting discussion going on in the studio. Well, it's going to be a discussion for another day, but, maybe we'll give you a little snippet of some of the things we're talking about. But let's continue with our post-mortem of what went down. Let's talk about the mixed relay. That's another, like you said, and I'm going to get to Austin to get his thoughts as well. When you're looking at sports, especially athletics meets, events like this, not just the athletes, the understanding of this event from the coaches, the placement, who runs the ankle leg, then knowing who your opponents are. Maybe I need to match this one with this one, so by the time we get to the second leg, they're not leading us to, whether you're going to put a man to run the ankle leg or, very interesting. And at the end of the day, the host, Team Edo, were able to win this one. Was surprising. I thought I wasn't thinking in their direction, but again, in Neobong, they managed this race well. That's just what I want to highlight. They managed this race, the baton exchanges, the placement of who's going to be on which leg. And at the end of the day, by the time it got to the final lap, it was like a blitz. They've done it.
It's exactly what you've said, and you've basically said what should be said, because it's understanding the technicalities with relays, and it's in the coach's hand. I mean, the athletes go out there and take the glory, but it is the coaches. The coaches make the selection. They place who and where to be, and it's great. I mean, he's coasting.
Just look, a lady ran the last, home. And there were guys.
Exactly. But that's what it should be. If you have your best hands, who are, in football parlance we call it teeing up.
Yeah.
If you have your best hands,
if you're teed up well.
Tee it up for the last runner. Whoever is finishing doesn't necessarily matter, because clearly it's done. The job has been done.
3 laps.
It's just like putting it on the plate and tapping home. It's a tapping, really. So it's great. The technicality and the coaches. Credit to the coaches. You've got to credit the
selection and the planning.
Like you said, understanding your opponent, because you can train all you want. If you do not know what you're up against, it's a problem.
That's true.
You've got to understand what you're up against, and the coaches understand we're up against so and so group or team, and we've got to understand what they bring to the table.
All right.
So it's fantastic.
All right. Let me get Austin. Austin, I don't know if you find the mixed relay. Is it fascinating to you as it is to some of us? Does it amuse you? I mean, I find it very exciting, the blend, and how the selection is made and all that. Although it brings to question all these things they say about gender, can our boys faster than girls and all that. But I do enjoy that mix. I don't know about you.
I remember I watched the 2018 edition in Abuja, and just before the race, started, I was saying, how do the coaches go about this, in terms of tactics, the technicalities, strategies, because you can't tell what this state is bringing in the second leg or what the other opponent is bringing in the third leg. Like, I noticed that everyone started with the ladies for the first leg. While Edo was strategic, they placed their men in the second and third leg. And that's for recovery. And then when they had done the job, they gave it to the final lady who did an awesome job to finish. So yes, I think it's a very interesting event, the 4x the mixed relays. And then it just goes to tell you that we can keep, juggling these things just for entertainment. And you can tell that the ladies did play their part. So with this mixed relay, there's no... Look at the distance, because if you check...
It was on a plate, like in your box. It was already on the plate.
They were struggling to catch up with the lady, and she just needed to consolidate on what the men had done, and that's teamwork for you right there. That's what sports does. It brings out the essence of teamwork. I love the mixed relays. I think it's even more interesting with the 400 meters, because then endurance comes, tactics, when to, particularly for the bend, you need to be sure who you can use that can, keep the momentum going. So yes, it's very interesting. I just hope that states will go back and consolidate more on these events that can actually, bring more entertainment to athletics.
All right, let's listen to the lady that crossed the finish line. Was already on the plate anyway, but she did her part. Blessing Ogudiro from Team Edo. We'll listen to what she had to say. We'll come back, show the medal table, and wrap things up with our post-mortem of the National Sports Festival.
All the person will give me the bait don't really work for me, and then I was moved closer before everybody collect the baiting. Then when the baiting really moved for when the baiting really took for my hand, I was like, oh, they would not really catch me when. At thank God, everything was perfect and okay. I was afraid, but I just locked my mind, say, no, I was run my life for this race because I really need the gold.
It was fun because that gold, I really did it. My teammates really need the gold. So it was okay. I feel, as in, I don't even know what to say, but I feel happy to have the gold medal because all my teammates are open on that medal because when we were coming out from the hostel, they were like, you can do it because you are starting the race. So you have to go out fast, make sure the beating row, and that's it.
Strategy right there, just strategy. You could feel it from what the ladies, and it's instructive. We spoke to the two ladies, maybe because our reporter on the ground was a lady. Just joking. but I like the fact that you could get a hint of the strategy they wanted to. Right from what she said while we were getting out of the hostel, the guys were already telling her, I mean, you can get this done for us.
Exactly. It's teamwork, really. It's teamwork, and it's understanding of what you're doing. And I like the fact that she was honest enough to admit that the job was done. I mean, the job was done already, and the job was done because they had a strategy. Yeah. And clearly, when you go into a game with into a race, understanding that this is what we want to do, it usually comes up, and it came off quite brilliantly.
All right, let's end. Okay, there's a thing or two to talk about, but let's see the medal table, and that's where we're going to end it. I mean, you could look at this race over and over and over, but the medal table, I mean, Team Delta, peerless.
Yes, peerless.
Nobody comes close. Nobody comes close. Team Delta, 158 gold. I mean, gold keeps you on top anyway. So, Edo, 129. Bielsa, a lot of people have been impressed with Bielsa, 56. Rivers State, 33. A lot of people thought Rivers could have done more. Well, then Lagos, in spite of not focusing on elite athletes, Lagos is still able to get 32 gold medals. So followed by Oyo, Akwa Ibom, Ogun State, Kano, and Imo State in that order, making the top 10. I mean, you can't argue with the medal table because it's a reflection of the performance of the states at the competition. But our parting shot, let me go to Austin first for our parting shot on the National Sports Festival. Were you surprised, Austin, when Delta State was announced? A lot of us were already talking about Kaduna. I don't know where we got it from. A lot of us already saying, we're going to see you in Kaduna. And the guys from Kaduna, too, were very, very optimistic about their chances. But yesterday, it just hit me. Somewhere when I heard was Delta, meaning that the sports ministry were already doing their job. And this came out with that announcement. I also think it was good that they just right away let us know what the next host will be. So first, did it surprise you? And the swiftness of the decision also, you think whether or not it was good?
Well, it didn't come as a surprise, Yemi, because I know the ministry, they go through a thorough process in, picking the host for the National Sports Festival. So they probably would have considered a lot of things before, making that announcement. It will hurt Kaduna because Kaduna is also a city that loves sports and they would love to, bring the National Sports Festival there. Again, maybe they consider the dominance that Delta has given to the competition. 3 times winners in a row. It tells you that there's something they are probably doing for, sports development in that region that the ministry would like to see or take other states to go there and also see it. So, I mean, it's for the love of the game, So let's just believe that it went through a transparent process. We'll keep questioning the ministry to know why they picked it. Look at them right there on the medals table. Dominant. 158 goals. They were dominant in 2018. They were dominant at ECHO 2012. Tells you the story of what Delta is doing for sports. Back in the day, the Sports Commission in Delta, even till date, is respected. They've been bringing talents, that have gone on to represent Nigeria. Some of the names we know: Ogogan Aguero, it's Brume, Blessing Kagbari, you know. So I think it's what other states will go to Delta, look at what they are doing. There's nothing wrong when you see something good, go and emulate it. So I mean, it doesn't come as a surprise. But before we leave the National Sports Festival, some parting shots. This is a time to reflect. I don't want to go on and on and on again as regards this has shown that we're a sporting nation. Ife Zigbe, a swimmer, won 6 gold medals. She's from Bayelsa. Bayelsa also got us talking. 56 gold medals. Daniel Igali and his team, you must consolidate on this. It tells you that there's something in Bayelsa that needs to be harnessed. So we can't go to sleep. Stephanie's just 10, and she won 4 medals at the National Sports Festival. 1 gold, 2 silver, and 1 bronze. She has shown us that we can do more with gymnastics in this country. So there are positives. Yes, I know that there are some areas that, yes, we must go back and look at ways that we can correct in terms of negatives. But the positives, we must consolidate on the positives. That's the rare opportunity that hosting the National Sports Festival has given to us here.
All right, thank you, Austin. And let me extend that to Idiomong as well. Were you surprised when Delta got the nod?
Not necessarily. Maybe I would have wanted it in another region.
But the news about Kaduna, were you feeling that way too? Because it looked like we're going...
Exactly.
Because it was in the news.
A lot of energy behind that. You know, I don't
it took someone to correct me a few days ago to say, no, nobody has announced anything.
Exactly, because it felt like there was a lot of energy behind that about Kaduna hosting, and maybe they were pushing a propaganda or just an agenda trying to get they force the hands of the people who do the awarding of the bidding, and it's quite great that Delta get a chance. Delta are very experienced. They hosted the Athletics Championship a few years ago, and this will be an opportunity for them to continue their dominance. I'm just slightly worried. I mean, slightly worried that they won 3. Looks like number 4 is in waiting. I'm just slightly worried.
All right. So it's going to be interesting too. The days coming will be very interesting, and of course, I'm very sure the sports minister will probably give us an explanation as to what happened. All right, it's time to bring you into all that we're doing on the show. We've spoken extensively about the National Sports Festival, and of course, we're going to talk some more about some of the things: UEFA Champions League, UEFA Europa League, and we'll take you to Monte Carlo to talk about tennis as well. So speak to us this morning. Drop your comments, tweet at us. @channels_sports is where you need to tweet at and let us know how you feel. We've always told you how important you are to us, so we need to know what you're thinking about this morning. Essentially, we just want to fill your pores. Let's talk everything sports and everything in between. Okay, so let's move on. We're done with the National Sports Festival. I still have Idiomong Monday and Austin Okona Akpan with me. And for the few minutes left, we're going to dwell on football and tennis. Let's show you what happened yesterday. It's no longer news. Semi-final lineup already complete in the UEFA Champions League. But I think it's fair to let you know what happened yesterday. This is what happened. At some point, some people were thinking it's quite possible that Manchester City could crash out because Dortmund scored. But Manchester City showing us that probably the hoodoo is behind them. Because for the first time under Pep Guardiola, they're getting into the semis, and there's nobody that has disappointed me in the UEFA Champions League like Liverpool this season. You have a home fixture, even though it didn't have the fans and everything, should have scored. They did it. But let me allow you to start with the Dortmund game, where at some point were you scared for City?
Yeah, I was worried. From the first leg, I thought Dortmund played really well. Got an away goal, and when you get an away goal, it just twists the tie into a different ball game entirely. And when they scored first, Jude Bellingham, what a strike. 17-year-old.
What a strike.
Plays like a 30-year-old, very experienced, head on very young shoulders. When he scored that goal, I thought City in all sorts of trouble. But I like this response that City gave. I like the fact that they didn't panic. I like the fact that they kept passing the ball, that they kept moving it around. They kept showing their intensity and trying to get back into the game. And thankfully they did. Controversially, though, with the penalty given them. I still think it's a penalty. A lot of people think it wasn't. Was it an obvious error? I don't think so. But I just thought that it was a penalty when you lean in the way Emre Can did with his hands outstretched from his body. Clearly, you're asking for the referee to make a decision, and the referee made the right decision, in my opinion. But credit to City. They came back in stupendous fashion, great quality. Kevin De Bruyne had one of his better games this season. He hit the crossbar and played very incisively in the final third, passing the ball well. Young Phil Foden. That moment where he scored the winning goal and then he runs to Pep Guardiola, and then Pep has his hands around his head. Looked like he was telling him, I told you this thing will work. It's quite amazing.
His name probably on the 23-man list for the Euros.
Exactly. He has to be in that squad because I think he brings a dimension that a lot of young players don't. I mean, because as a young player, I mean, you're desperate to get into the team. You're willing to play anywhere. Right. Anywhere the manager wants you to play. And I think the boy has conducted himself very well. Scored the winning goal in the first leg and does same in the second leg. And I'm sure Pep will be thinking, first name on the list in the semi-finals.
Okay. All right. Let's listen to the Dortmund manager, followed by the Manchester City manager, Pep Guardiola. We'll go back to Austin to get his thoughts. The Dortmund manager feels City played well, but they were lucky.
Disappointed that we didn't make it. To be fair, we are not happy with the decisions the referee took over the last 8 days in both games. Again, the only thing that we don't understand is why don't they use the screen? They have screens all over the pitch, and why are they not using it if it's there to help? But this was one piece of the games. Again, Man City deserved to go to the next round, but of course, with a bit of luck, especially in these two moments, we could even progress to the next round as well. It doesn't matter who scores. Of course, we are used to think that he's the last man in the chain and that he has the last touch before the goal. But now for the recent games, he was very important for us in shielding the ball, running in behind, being a threat. And if he works hard like he's doing all day long in trainings, it won't take long that he's going to be on the score sheet again.
The last 30 minutes, the first half, we had incredible 2 or 3 chances to score a goal. And in the second half, we found the goals and we played good. So in the second half, we didn't concede one shoot. We created enough chances to win. And finally, we are in semi-finals for the second time in our club in the history. So, and now, tonight, we're going to celebrate it and thinking and Chelsea in 3 days. Past this moment, the quarterfinals to get the semi-finals was necessary. Now, of course, we want more. We're going to prepare the game against PSG, the last finalists for the Champions League last season against Bayern Munich. So we know how tough they were. So they knock out to Bayern Munich. I think the best team in the world right now. And yeah, we'll see what happens, how we arrive.
All right, Austin, you got a minute to do this, and I know you can. The Dortmund manager insists City deserves to win, but he questions some decisions from the ref. Some will point to the penalty, the Jude Bellingham goal chopped off in the first leg. He said if you look at those moments, Dortmund probably will be the ones in the semis. Do you agree?
No, I don't agree. Sorry, Tajik. I don't agree with him because City showed character. And you know, I mean, the last time we spoke, I told you that it would have been difficult if City had not come back to win that game at the Etihad. They won that one, and they showed character again, going by goal down right there in Dortmund, and then going on to win 2-1. These things come up when coaches don't win. They find a way to, either put it on the referee or, talk about, that, as he said, that City, they were lucky. He mentioned his team was disappointing. No, I think City were favorites to advance to the semi-finals. Yes, we know at this stage anything can happen, but City has given us all the vibes that they want to make it to the finals of this year's UEFA Champions League. And with Bayern Munich out of the way, maybe except Real Madrid, you can actually easily tip Manchester City to go on to win. I fear for Borussia Dortmund, because they are fifth on the log right now in the German Bundesliga with 46 points. And if they don't make it to the UEFA Champions League, they will lose fantastic players in either Bellingham or even Haaland. So it's going to get tougher for them.
All right, I agree with you. We'll continue with this discussion when we return from this break. We're about to go on. We'll still talk about the Liverpool game, talk about the UEFA Europa League, and spare a minute or two to talk about the Monte Carlo Masters before we read the papers and read some of your tweets. But we need to go on that break right about now. All right, it's time to switch up and flip the coin. The other game played yesterday, Liverpool were disappointing, didn't even score, didn't give themselves a chance to advance to the next round. Austin, quick one, still have a lot of ground to cover. Were you disappointed with Liverpool?
Very disappointed, Yemi, because I think in the first 20 minutes of the game, they showed some fight, they did some push. But then again, it's looking like Jurgen Klopp is being clueless with this team. Is either they need some sort of revival or a complete overhaul of the team, because you just expect them to at least score a goal or just push Real Madrid, do something, the same thing that Dortmund did to Manchester City, but they didn't just push, so they deserve to be out of the competition. It's been an abysmal 2021 for Jurgen Klopp and his team, and it's up to him and the board to turn things around at Liverpool.
All right, Iliamon, quick one.
Yeah, but it was a game of fine margins. I just thought that Liverpool should have taken their chance early on. Mo Salah had that brilliant chance to put Liverpool ahead. It wasn't a very convincing performance. It was a better performance than that of the first leg, but they just lacked goals on the night. And credit to Real Madrid. I thought they played really well. Casemiro was outstanding, deservedly got the Man of the Match award. And it's been a story of Liverpool's season. They haven't been convincing all season, and fair enough that they got knocked out yesterday.
All right, let's take a look at the Europa League and see what's going to happen today. Funny enough, 3 of the away sides won the last time. But Arsenal weren't beaten, at least, like the other home teams. So there you have it. Manchester United against Granada, Roma against Ajax, Slavia Prague against Arsenal, Villarreal against Dinamo Zagreb. This is what is going to happen today. So we'll see where it goes from there. All right. You want to quickly say something?
Yeah, maybe the Man United game against Granada, I think that's done and dusted. Roma, Ajax still hanging in the balance because Roma won 2-1 away from one, but take nothing away from Ajax. They can come back and get a result. And Arsenal, the game is a top one for them. Slavia Prague have already knocked out 2 British sides, and Arsenal will have that in mind. Aubameyang, they're still sweating on his fitness. Bukayo Saka should be fit for this one. And of course, Emil Smith-Rowe. Tough game for Arsenal. Only realistic way of getting into Europe. They've got to go for it.
All right, they've got to go for it. Let me read a couple of tweets as we move on. We still have the papers, so we still want to talk about Monte Carlo. So let's see how far we can go. Valentino. This one is from Valentino. He says, Chelsea fans asked for Real Madrid. Now they got what they prayed for. I just hope their dance issues are ready, because I strongly believe they won't like the sound of the music. And Manchester City against PSG is definitely going to be mouth-watering. That's from Valentino. Let me see. Nobleman Flyer says, our policymakers in the sports ministry are not sleeping. As Delta has shown, there's abundance of talent in the state. Jude Adamu says, awesome coverage of the sports festival. Keep it up. Talking to Channels Television. All right. Okay. Austin, your parting shot. A lot of people, one of the tweets talking about Chelsea saying they may not like what's going to happen, but they're getting what they prayed for. Your parting shot in a few seconds, you already know what's going to happen in the semi-final.
Yeah, I think Chelsea will put up a good show. At the semi-finals, look, anything can happen. And they're former champions of the UEFA Champions League, so it's not new to them. But I'd love to see what Manchester City can do against PSG. But before I leave, I was just wondering, where in the world did Inyobong Monday get the strength to talk about Arsenal? Wait, I thought Inyobong was just going to leave it at Manchester United. But interesting night it will be in the Europa League. I'm looking forward to see what Ajax can do after losing that first leg to Roma at home. Let's see if they can do the same at the Stadio Olimpico. But what a goal. That second goal scored by Ibanez. Got me screaming. Hopefully we'll get more screamers tonight.
Okay. Also, we got to let you go. Thank you for your time on the show. We'll do this again tomorrow.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Let me just quickly say that we have 3 papers to review. We'll see how far we can go. We have the Sporting Sun, we have the Sporting Life, and we have Complete Sports. Let's start with Sporting Sun. All right. Let's see what we have here. Atletico fears Suarez summer exit. Barcelona determined to sign Haaland. A lot of interesting stories. Okay, you have Sporting Sun on your screen. Sporting Sun on your screen. Onuachu Draws, Kane, and Suarez. This guy is a goal machine. He's just been scoring left, right, and center.
Yeah, he's doing well. People would say it's not in a big league, but I mean, football is football anyway. It is, and if you're scoring in Belgium, there's a chance you can score anywhere. And I think he's a good finisher. I quite like him. He's an 18-yard box striker. He wants to score. He doesn't care about what happens anywhere else on the pitch. He just wants to score.
Let's go to Sporting Life quickly. Talk about Barcelona. I don't know if they have the funds. They are in all kinds of financial crisis.
Yeah, they are. I don't know where they're going to get funds to get fund that Erling Haaland move. But Barcelona, I don't know what's happening there. But if they get that move, it would be absolutely off the rooftop.
Suarez leaving Atletico. You see that happening?
Where would he go? I'm just wondering.
At
Where
33?
would he go? At 33, I'm
All
sure. I'm not sure.
Complete Sports, I have to take the Musa story. Super Eagles captain Ahmed Musa is going to be unveiled by the governor of Kano State. He says, I'm back to improve the image of Nigerian football. Somebody joked, said at least Genotro is going to invite one home-based player.
Wow, that would be great. But it's great to see have Ahmed Musa come back to the league. And I think I agree with him totally. It's about the image of the league. I mean, if our players aren't quite doing well in Europe anymore, their legs are not quite carrying them playing European football, it would be great for them to come back. And that's what a lot of African teams, countries do. So great to have Ahmed Musa back, but I just have a feeling it's a stopgap. I just feel it's just to hang around and get a contract in Europe.
All right. That's a good place to leave it. Inyobong Monday, I want to thank you for your time on the show. It's nice doing this with you. Hopefully we get to do this some other time.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
All right. Also, Konakwan was with us earlier, and that's the show today. We're back here again tomorrow. I'm Ahmed Bayo. Bye-bye.